Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Greatest Book Never Published podcast, where we read the greatest book never published. It's called The Infection. I wrote this book when I was like 13, and we're having a fun time reading it. So if you haven't listened to the previous several episodes, all the other ones, definitely go back and listen to those first, or you won't know what's going on. You'll be lost. So, and I wouldn't want to give you any spoilers before you get to it. You want to listen to the story as you go. Anyways, so I am Nim.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Steve.
And today is the second to last episode. Can't believe we made it here. Exciting. Yeah, I know, exciting. But also sad. I know. It's almost over. We're at the penultimate episode. So anyways, what happened last time to our heroes? Where did we leave off?
Steve took out Whiplash.
Steve cut his head clean
Zach
off.
Jameson, or no.
Zach took
way.
out King Killer.
Yeah, and
Zach-
Jameson
took out
Jameson took
the
out
other one, Deathblade.
Deathblade.
Yep.
And the other
Yeah.
one took out.
And then
Steve took out Whiplash.
Nate is
took out
about to
Whiplash
fight
in the most
Shredder, or-
violent way.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and then
just got released
Shredder
on
is about to attack Nate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah, there we are. So all of our characters, a few of our characters had some victories, but Nate is like not doing too great. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's the chapter we just read. I'm on the wrong page. Chapter 77. Zach Thompson. What do I do now? Where was I before King Killer attacked? Yeah, this is actually funny. I actually had the name Deathblade written in here, and it's scribbled out with King Killer written there. So I wrote it wrong when I typed it up on the computer. It's funny.
Ha ha ha.
Where was I before King Killer attacked? Oh yeah, of course. I was in the prison hallway looking for Nate and the others, but they weren't in any of the cells. Where could they possibly be? Either they already escaped and are completing the mission now, or they are being held somewhere else. But where? Where else would they put them? This hovercraft is so huge that it'd be extremely difficult to find them. I wish I had the tracking device with me. Then I would know exactly where they are. Wait a minute. I know exactly what to do. I need to find the control center of this hovercraft. There's probably security cameras there. I could look at the cameras and see if I can find them. So his solution to it'd be too hard to find them is, let me find something else that's probably going to be equally as hard to find.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe there's signs.
Signs.
Control
room this way, yeah. I run down the hallway, not sure where exactly I'm going. I find a man walking down one of the halls. I knock him out and put his uniform on as a disguise. It takes me a while. And classic. It's like classic Death Star move, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Beat up a stormtrooper, put on the costume. Indiana Jones does that too with the Nazi, you know. Takes me a while, but I finally find the control center. I walk in and see a bunch of men sitting at computers. What are you doing in here? One of the men says. I think I took a wrong turn. I then run up to this man, knock him out. My reading ability hasn't improved since the beginning of this podcast. I then run up to this man and knock him out. All the others instantly turn toward me with guns. They all open fire at once. The bullets pass through me. I run up to another one of them, also knocking him out. I grab his gun and fire back at all the other men. Next thing I know, they are all dead.
Ooh,
Dude.
Impressive.
So, I think Zach has just started... Wow.
He's just
at this point,
people.
I think Zach's body count has been like maybe 1 or like 2. And then now he's just added it up to like 10 more. So, remember when Steve was having this moral dilemma? Like, should I kill this guy or should I let him live? What would the Christian thing to be to do?
Yeah.
And Zach's just like, Zach, who's the more religious person, who's like, you know, he's just like, I don't care. I'm killing all these dudes. I'm murking all these dudes. It's just funny. Next thing I know, they're all dead. I am now looking through all of the cameras. I see Red helping all of the people into helicopters to get them off of the hovercraft. I also noticed that Mr. Black and Agent Scope are helping her, but Nate and Abigail are nowhere in sight. Oh, so Mr. Black and Agent Scope were like captured too, so they escaped somehow. Okay. Off screen. I begin scanning the rest of the cameras. I see Nate and Abigail in a large room next to a huge window. I also see Lee and Crepe. I see Shredder about to attack Nate. What do I do? There's no way I can get there quick enough to stop this. Maybe there's something I can do from here. I look through the room and find nothing that will be useful. All I find is a button that will shut down half of the engines, which will cause half of the hovercraft to stop working. Why do they have just a button? This button just
Beep.
shuts down half the engines, which will cause it to tilt on its side.
Wait a minute.
How convenient.
That's not how that works.
Shuts down half the engine, so it's like... Yeah. That could be enough to cause a good distraction to help Nate.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Nice one. Okay. I look at the screen, which shows the hangar. I see the last of the prisoners leave the hovercraft. It is now safe for me to turn off half of the hovercraft engines. Yeah, except for the fact that your brother and his, like, girlfriend are not safe. Although I guess it's safer than him getting attacked by a mutated rat, but still. I can't do it. This could cause Nate to fall out of the hovercraft and die. It could mess up the whole mission. But if I don't, he'll die anyway. I have to do it. I hit the button. Beep. End of chapter. And the very next chapter is Nathan Thompson. So
Oh boy.
we're about to find out right away what the result of this tilting action is.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 78. Nathan Thompson. I am trapped. Shredder is about to kill me, and I have nowhere to go. I must get the iPhone back and stop the missiles. All he's got to do is scan his fingerprint. That's right. Shredder jumps at me and bites my head. Before he can tear it off, Abigail tackles him, knocking him off of me. Dude, so he's just got, like, blood dripping down at this point, I guess? Jeez. I see her trying to hold him back. He doesn't care about Abigail. He was sent to kill me. Oh, so they really did, like, a very specific mind control or, like, brainwashing to him or whatever. Or I guess mind control, because we know they have mind control capabilities.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. With this distraction, I try to find the iPhone. It's difficult since my head is throbbing in pain and blood is gushing down the side of it. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I see the iPhone in the corner of the room. I'm about to grab it when I realize that Shredder is loose. Just when Shredder is about to tear me apart, the floor tilts. The whole hovercraft is now tilted at a 45-degree angle, and we all begin to slide toward the window. Shredder slides past us and crashes through the window, falling to his death. Oh, man. Before we follow him, Abigail and I grab onto a ledge. We are both hanging on about 10 yards away from each other and 20,000 feet in the air. Are you okay? I yell to her. Yeah, she yells back. Where's the iPhone? Just after I say that, I see the iPhone sliding down toward Abigail. She looks up, sees it, and grabs it before it falls.
Wow.
Launch the missiles, I hear Crepe say from behind me. I turn and see him standing on a ledge next to Lee, talking into a radio. It's too late now. The first missile has already been launched. There's nothing you can do. Oh, so there's like multiple missiles. Ooh. Did they mention that before? I guess they're like going to different cities, maybe. Throw me the iPhone, I yell to Abigail. I may not have stopped the first missile, but I can at least stop the rest of them. Abigail throws the iPhone to me. I just barely grab it. I place my finger on the fingerprint scanner. The launches have been terminated. No! Crepe yells. Now only one of the missiles have launched. Let's hope that's enough for your sake, Lee says to Crepe. My sake? You say it like it's my fault. That's because it is. You should have killed your daughter when you had the chance. All she does, and all she's ever done, is get in our way. Yet you keep her alive. Just because she reminds you of Joyce. Well, you killed her yourself. You killed her yourself, so you obviously didn't think very highly of her. Shut up, Crepe yells in Lee's face. Don't ever mention her name again. I could see the fury in Crepe's eyes. Well, if you won't finish the job, Lee says as he raises a gun, then I will. No, he can't shoot Abigail. I need her. Well, what do I do to stop it? Wait, I know exactly what to do. I risked my life for her once. I can certainly do it again. At the same second Lee pulls the trigger, I pull myself up and jump in the way of the bullet. I get hit in the stomach. Next thing I know, I am falling through the air, blood flying everywhere. The only thing I hear is Abigail screaming my name and crying at the same time. She's the last thing I see before I black out.
Oh.
End of chapter. So they
Wow,
missed him
what a
once, but then
hero.
he still has a gun, so you could still just shoot her right then and there.
Yeah,
but,
what a hero.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Why didn't he just use his telekinesis?
Well, he's not very good at it yet. He doesn't know how to use it yet. He doesn't know how to control it.
Just the last time he just thought real hard and it worked. So
Well, you know what? He's not there yet. He didn't even completely understand how it worked. It just kind of happened, and he was like, Jameis, chapter 79, Jameson Thompson. I just killed Deathblade. I am not sorry about it at all. This is what God brought me back to life for. To murder a guy. To kill a guy.
yeah, Deathblade deserved to die. So
Sure, but, you know, that was my mission. Now the only question is, what do I do now? Next thing I know, the whole hovercraft begins to tilt to one side. Wait,
wasn't he fighting Deathblade on the ground?
Jameson's not on the hovercraft.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I remember he
helicopter
commandeered a
brought
Oh,
him
wait,
up.
yeah, I forgot. He got on the... Yeah, they
And
ended
then he
up on the
jumped
top
off
of it.
on top of the thing.
That's right, I forgot. I grab onto something that's sticking out of the ground so I don't fall off. While I'm holding on, I see something out of the corner of my eye. It's Crepe climbing across on a small ledge, trying to find a way to escape. Crepe! I yell over to him. Who are you? He asks. Are you one of the ones who caused my plan to fail? I don't know. All I did was kill Deathblade. I'm not sure how much that contributed to it.
Well,
Okay.
Deathblade sucked. So
I never hired Deathblade, he says. Crepe never hired Deathblade. Never hired Deathblade. Then who did? Of course, Lee. By the way, I say, what happened to your partner, Lee? Lee's no partner of mine, he says. He betrayed me. He tried to shoot my daughter. I knocked the gun out of his hand before he could take another shot. Before I could shove him off of the hovercraft, he got away. Why are you over here instead of over there helping her? There was no saving her. She was hanging on a ledge, and I couldn't get to her. I decided to go after Lee instead. He has the controls to the mind control serum and the bombs. I thought the bombs were stopped. All but one, Crepe says with a smile. The one that will hit New York City. I may not be the one controlling it, but I will still love to see it. So he was going after Lee because he's like, Lee has the mind control thing. Yeah. Next thing I know, the hovercraft starts to fall. I jump off just before it falls into the water. Crepe's still on it. I hope it kills him.
what? So this thing's falling from, would you say, 2,200 feet in the air?
It already hit the ground. Already hit the
20,000.
water.
20,000 feet. It'd be falling pretty fast.
Yeah. I slam against the ground, black out for a second, then wake up. Dude, there's a lot of blacking out in this.
Yeah.
I have to do something. One missile has been launched. It must be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Wow, these chapters are going by quick. I
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
for the final climax chapters, they're going by too quick, you know?
They're kind of short for the final chapters.
I know.
Yeah.
Two
Wait,
of
are we
them were-
we're already down to one more chapter for the episode.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
Wow.
One left.
This one's a little longer than the other ones. Chapter 80. Stephen Richards. I stare at Whiplash's decapitated body in shock. What a way to start a chapter. I did not know that I was capable of killing someone. I'm not... Yeah, your friend Zach doesn't care. He's capable of killing people all the time. I'm not sure if
And
this
James.
is... I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. He probably deserved it. He has probably killed many people in his time. Maybe this is a good thing. This is justice. Or is it? Maybe I should have let him live and have a fair trial. Who am I to decide whether he lives or dies? Whether it was the right thing to do or not, it's too late now. I already killed him. There's no taking it back. Instead of sitting here deciding whether it was right or wrong, I guess I should help finish the mission. Takes a minute, but I figure out how to control this floating platform. Oh, I forgot they're just on a random floating platform. The only thing I can think to do is go up. Once I get a little higher, I finally see it. The hovercraft. There's something wrong with it, though. It is tilting one way, and it appears to be falling slowly. Once I move, like, the fact that Zach could just find the control room, press one button, and just destroy the whole thing is like...
It's like the Death Star, basically. It's that easy to destroy.
Well, they had to put a lot of effort. Like, it took, a lot of... a really difficult...
Just leave a hole in the top all the way to the reactor.
Like, it took a very
Genius
difficult,
plan
like,
right
practical
there.
suicide mission to do it, but... wow. Something wrong with it. It is tilted and appears to be falling slowly. Once I move a little closer, I notice that there's someone dangling from a broken window. I look a little closer and realize that it's Abigail. What do I do? I've got to save her. She is my sister. Can't just let her die. I move the platform a little closer. Abigail, I yell. Steve? I hear her yell back to me. What are you doing here? Have they ever even talked to each other in this entire book? Like, how well do they actually know each other? I feel like not at all.
Probably not very well.
I'm saving you. It's okay for you to let go. I'll catch you. Don't worry. You can trust me. I don't know. I didn't think you were the saving type. You know what? Let's discuss this
Well, she's just
after.
dangling there.
I don't know.
It's like, what better choice do you have? Fall to your death?
I thought you were more of the self-serving type. You did run out on your best friend when he needed you the most.
How does she know that?
Dude, yeah, I know.
I don't know.
She was too busy saving Nate during that whole thing. Like,
Maybe they had a conversation off screen.
I guess. Is this really the reputation I've built up? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You say it all the time. You say, literally. Do people really think I'm self-serving and don't care about others? How is he surprised by this? He literally says that, like, constantly throughout this entire book.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, that is the way I was. No, crap. You mean like 2 days ago? I remember how I told it. Or I remember when Zach told me about what happened to him with the gang members. I remember how I told him that he should have just let that boy get beat to death. And I now realize just how awful that was. I was just as bad as the guy who was beating him. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say as bad. Maybe, like, still bad, but not as bad. And she's right. I did run out of my best friend. It was only when I found out who my real father was that I decided to help. Or maybe it was because I found out Zach was in danger. I just couldn't bear the thought of losing my best friend. Now that I think about it, it's because of him that all this is happening to me. It's because of my fear of losing my friend that I walked into that lab. I would have never been there if I didn't feel like I had to apologize. It is because of Zach that I am here, and I am thankful for that. If this never happened, I would have never found meaning in my life. I have to save my sister. I have to show her that I am no longer self-serving. In quotation marks. I know that I walked out on him. Dude, they're just gonna have a whole conversation while it's falling. Like, dude, just save her and then have this conversation. I know that I walked out on him, I say. I now realize just how terrible a person I am. But that doesn't mean that you can't trust me to save you. My only sister. Wow. I am now close enough that I can see the expression on her face. It is confused, surprised, and happy at the same time. Next thing I know, the hovercraft starts falling faster. I have to start moving the platform lower so the hovercraft doesn't run into it. Let go! I yell with a little bit of tears in my eyes. Yeah, we know she can't swim, so she's not going to survive hitting the water. We know from earlier that she can't swim.
Yeah.
I finally found out who my real family is, and I don't want to lose the only family member left who doesn't want to take over the world.
How does he know? He doesn't even know her. Maybe she does.
Yeah.
Maybe she's a triple agent.
Well, they no. Well, yeah, maybe Nate told him about how he read her mind, and he's like, oh yeah, she's good.
Maybe.
She lets go. I reach out and grab her hand before she falls past the platform to her death.
Why don't you just put the platform right underneath her?
I know. It's so dumb.
It's got to
More
be a
dramatic.
decent-sized platform if he was fighting whiplash on it.
I quickly pull her up on top of the platform. Wait, didn't she fall past? I reach out and grab her hand before she falls past the platform to her death. Sorry, I thought it said as I watch her fall to her death. So I thought it said, I was like, what?
Oops.
I quickly pull her up on top of the platform. I control the platform to move out from underneath the hovercraft. The hovercraft falls at full speed into the water. So, you're my brother? Abigail says. According to what Fox told me, yes, I say. She looks at me for a second, smiles, and gives me a big hug. Aww.
Aww.
So, there is
Wow.
someone left in my family who's on my side. She seems so happy. She looks down where the hovercraft is sinking, and then frowns. What is it? Nate was on there with me. He got shot, then fell to his death just so he could save me. I see tears starting to run down the side of her face. At least he stopped the missiles, didn't he? All but one, she says. He didn't stop the one that's headed for New York City. New York City? My home. It may be filled with scumbags, but it's my home.
Yep, got that right.
Oh, that's funny. But it's my home. It's where I grew up, and all the people I've ever known live there. If New York is destroyed, then so is my whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the last chapter for today.
Wow.
So I think that's like the big climax conclusion to the whole side plot of him finding out who his real father is. And I must say, it was a pretty pointless plot point. It didn't really add much to the story.
Not at
Just
all.
kind of, yeah, just not needed. No, don't know why I did that. But anyways, wow, we have one left.
One episode left.
One episode left with the final 4 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
No,
I
I can't.
It's sad, exciting, and sad. I don't know. What do you think's gonna happen? Like, because they still have one more missile to stop. Do you think Nate actually died?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't know. He was shot and fell. So
But he died off
I
screen.
Say, like,
He died off screen.
anytime
Well-
somebody dies off screen.
well,
they're
also
probably
there's
still
4
alive.
chapters left, and one of them is
has to
from
be
the
him,
perspective
so.
of Nate.
Maybe it's him in heaven. It's just like him, like, oh, I'm in heaven now.
Well, maybe he's gonna meet the grandpa too.
Or maybe there's a twist and there's actually only 3 chapters left.
I doubt it.
How do you? You don't know that.
Well, there's an even number of chapters.
Well, we'll find out next week in the final
Yep.
episode of the greatest book never published.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to listen to that, it'll be out next week on Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. 'Cause that's when all the new episodes are out. Well, after that, next week there won't be new episodes because it's the last one.
Yeah.
So very excited. We might eventually do a sequel series just because at one point I did try to rewrite the book and I got only so far. I also tried to rewrite it as a screenplay once. Never finished it. So maybe in the future, at some point we can do that. Probably not. Like we're not going to continue right after this. We'll give it a break for a little bit. It would be like a season 2 of the podcast of the greatest book never published. But yeah, so definitely be excited for the finale next week.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to it on either Spotify or my YouTube channel, which is called NimTV. And, depending on which one you're on, you can find links in the description to the other one. And you could also find a link in the description to Nathan's YouTube channel, which is called Nate the Great.
Yep.
And you can also... Well, I think that's about it. That's everything. Yeah. So anyways, get excited for next week. Thank you all for watching and listening. I've been Nim.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Steve.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
everyone.